Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to USPAACC's LiveTALK session, Innovating with AI, Discussions with Abhishek from Google. My name is Mark Allen, Vice President and Corporate Development Specialist here at USPAACC, and I'm delighted to have you all join us today for this important discussion on how AI is shaping the future of work and innovation. Before we get started, I want to personally invite you to join us at our 40th celebration Ruby Jubilee Business Plus Procurement Conference, happening June 2nd to June 5th at MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Celebration is the nation's largest and longest-running business development conference led by Pan-Asian Americans, bringing together corporate and government leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and small businesses to create meaningful connections and new opportunities. We would love to see you there. You'll find more details and the registration link in the chat. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our host for today's session, Carolyn Joshua. Carolyn is the president and CEO of Trilyon, Inc., a global workforce solutions company with expertise spanning AI, machine learning, cloud technology, healthcare, IT, pharma, life sciences, and technical writing. Under her leadership, Trilyon has built a global presence with operations across the United States, Canada, Latin America, India, and Europe. Her exceptional leadership has been recognized with several prestigious awards, including the Entrepreneurizing Women of the Year Award, the Top 50 Women Leaders of San Francisco, and the She Leads Impact Award. Beyond her work at Trilyon, she is a dedicated advocate for women in business and serves as the co-chair of USPAACC WISE, the Women Initiative for Strategic Empowerment, where she leads initiatives to uplift and advance women professionals in the corporate world. With her vast experience in technology and workforce solutions, Carolyn is a perfect person to guide today's discussion on how AI is transforming industries and the workplace. Please help me in joining and welcoming Carolyn to our panel. Thank you, Carolyn. How are you?
Doing good, Mark. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Looking forward to this fun session. And I'm honored to be the host for today's live talk called Innovating with AI and discussion with Abhishek from Google. As we all know, AI is today transforming the way we work, innovate, compete. And today we have the incredible opportunity to hear firsthand from an industry leader who is at the forefront of this transformation. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Abhishek Sidhineni. Abhishek brings over 20 years of experience in managing large-scale complex operations. Abhishek has held leadership roles in strategy, sales, learning, and talent development, and operations too, at some of the world's largest organizations. Apart from Google, he was also spearheading Dell, Groupon, and Amazon. Today at Google, Abhishek serves as the head of onboarding and offboarding operations program, where he oversees the management of 230,000 contingent workers across Alphabet. His expertise in AI-driven operations and workforce solutions makes him the perfect person to guide us in today's discussion on how AI is reshaping industries and why do we as professionals actually need to embrace it, and how do we develop the skills to thrive in this AI-driven world. We're incredibly excited to learn from him today. So I would love to have him join us, and welcome, Abhishek, and welcome to this session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Carolyn, for the warm welcome. To all the participants who are joining this event, a big thank you from my side for inviting me here. A big thank you also to Carolyn and the entire Trilyon team for rallying behind this event. There are a lot of people who worked relentlessly in the last few weeks to make this event happen, and I cannot be more happy to share all my insights. I want to start the conversation by saying that I'm no expert on AI. I take a lot of interest in learning what is AI, and I'm very happy to share my insights and my thoughts on what AI looks like today. It's fascinating that when I was a student, couple of decades back, there was no discussion about artificial intelligence, right? And today, today the concept of artificial intelligence is that it's taught in schools, it's taught in colleges. You have specific courses where you can learn, and of course, the entire tech industry and just the overall industry is getting revolutionized by artificial intelligence. Now, what really is artificial intelligence, right? And in this revolution, what's really expected from each one of us? So a couple of points on that. The first point is artificial intelligence is going to stay. So my request to all my fellow colleagues and participants on the call is embrace this change. It starts the concept of this change starts with you. If you don't embrace to this particular change, you won't be able to add value to the kind of work which you want to do currently in the industry. uh, Multiple tools, multiple theories about what artificial intelligence is. I'll just make it very simple. The idea in this conversation is to give you real time examples, more practical examples, also share my insights to make it easy for you to understand. And of course, I'm happy to explain any questions which comes through during this conversation. So how does the magic behind the curtain work? What is this artificial intelligence, right? What it is it's a very powerful concept and bunch of tools through which you can actually make a huge difference. I'll give you an example. Let's say if you are dealing with a e-commerce industry, you are a customer who's purchased something from the e-commerce website. How it really works today, the technology is, let's say if you have an issue with your order and your order is not getting delivered on time, or you got the product but the product is defective, when you reach the customer service of the e-commerce giants, most likely 99% you're talking to AI. When I say AI, it's the bots, it's the chat process of that particular e-commerce giant with who you're talking to. So you're not really having an interaction with a human in the first time. You're having an interaction with a bot. And when you're chatting with the bot goes back and checks what's your purchase history, where exactly is your product stuck, if you've got a defective product, why did you get a defective product, so on and so forth. And that's a revolution in itself, right? What it also means is e-commerce industry is using this revolution to its best advantage, because it's able to solve a customer query without putting the required headcount or without putting the required manpower to solve it. Now, your question could be that where does this manpower go? So this manpower actually sits with the e-commerce companies, and you can effectively utilize the manpower available to you to do a more complex kind of a work. I hope this gives you a little more glimpse into the AI revolution, which is going to stay here. Fintech is another industry. So let's say you are trying to get into your account, and you have certain questions about your savings. You have certain questions about the interest rate which the bank is charging, or the savings account which you have. You want to understand how much money are you making from the interest rate. And the moment you start chatting with the bank, again, it's the chatbots who are interacting with you. And there is artificial intelligence technology behind that particular interaction. We also have something called generative AI. Generating AI really works like magic behind the curtain. There are large language models, which we call as LLMs, and diffusion models, which are trained on massive data sets. Generative AI, they learn the patterns and relationship with this data, enabling them to generate new content that resembles with the original content. So let's say you want to go ahead and use generative AI. There are multiple, what you can say, models available in the market. And let's say you are using one particular model in the market online, and you want to help, example, your family member, you want to help your daughter or son write an essay. Generative AI does that for you. Uh, does it really take the entire creative freedom from you? Answer is no. It gives you a bunch of suggestions on the topic of the essay which you need for your daughter or your son, and depending on how you want to tailor made that particular essay, you can actually sort of inform your children that this is the main content which you got, and then children can play around with that. So these are some very simple examples on how AI is revolution is happening. It's across all around the world. uh, Hotels, flights, any industry which you pick up is using AI, and that's going to stay here. So my summation of the discussion here, and we'll talk more, is to adopt the technology, uh, show the curiosity to learn how you can add value in your own work. There is a lot which you can do. There are a lot of courses now available on AI on the internet. Most of these courses are free, so sign up for some of those courses. More importantly, also use AI in your personal life to make to strike a good personal and professional life harmony, which is very important for you. And we'll talk more about how you can use AI in your personal space as well to give you that enhanced happiness when you're with your family. With that, I'm again very happy to be a part of this particular panel. Really looking forward to share a lot of insights with each one of you. And with that, I would like to get Philip back on the stage here. So over to you, Philip and Carolyn.
Um, Thank you, Abhishek. Yes, very important conversation that we're having here with all of these advancements happening in our society. And Abhishek, it's so wonderful to have you here, somebody who is so qualified to speak on that. I do want to really quickly take photos of everybody. So if we can have everybody turn on their camera very quickly, that would be wonderful. We just need some photos. All right, USPAACC team, if you could help me request. We'll just wait a minute or two for everybody to get their cameras on.
Is there any particular pose which you want us to strike, Philip, like a thumbs up or just a?
It's a nice smile. It's a nice smile is all.
Okay.
Hopefully. All right, give me 1 second. We'll just wait another minute. We're about to take photos, everybody. If you can turn on your cameras real quick. All right. Okay, I'm seeing some cameras still turning on, so we'll just wait a couple more seconds. All right, we'll take photos. I'm gonna take a couple actually. So 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And then 2 more. 3, 2, 1. And one last one. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you so much. Carolyn, I'll pass it right over to you.
Thank you, Philip. That was a good facial exercise. But thank you so much, Abhishek, for sharing those nuggets of information. I think that's on everybody's top of mind, so very valuable. So before we begin our discussion, I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes or phrases. AI won't replace you, but someone using AI might. It's all about embracing the technology rather than fearing it. So I think that's very important because over the last 2 years, we've gone from fear to adoption and finally loving AI. So that's one of my favorite quotes. So as we all know, AI is reshaping industries at an unprecedented pace, faster than we can even keep up. So what are some of the exciting ways, Abhi, that you have seen in your personal experience that where AI drives innovation in the business world?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Carolyn. And I really love the quote. AI is not here to replace you, but yes, the person who gets better at AI may definitely replace you. So, a couple of things. I'll share my personal experience first, Carolyn, and this would be very useful for all the participants. Um, see, when this entire change, right, has been happening for the last few years, specifically during the pandemic and after the pandemic. um, as a professional, I also resisted to this particular change. um, and I thought that if chatbots is the future of customer service operations, what is exactly, I mean, what are the humans then supposed to do if bots over a period of time replace human personnel to manage the customer interactions, and all of that. But I was wrong. It's never the bot or the technology which is going to replace the humans. Actually, they will make the life much more useful and meaningful for humans. I'll give you an example. Um, in one of the previous organizations, we had customers who had a lot of purchase history with them. They were ordering online products, and they were ordering bulk of these products. And some of these customers came back to us saying, "Hey, listen, there is a drop in the quality of service. Earlier, we used to get the product delivered, let's say, in 4 or 6 hours, and now it takes about a day for you to deliver the product." And when we analyzed that data using machine learning models, we actually realized the customers are true. Customers are always right. And we analyzed that there is a certain pocket in the rural India who's not getting the products as we are claiming to deliver those products. It brought about such a fascinating discussion, Carolyn, because if we had not taken the customers' inputs and feedback, if we had not got back to the machine learning models, feeded that information, got the actual data set of customers in rural India who are not getting the orders as per what is promised to them, we would have never been able to innovate. Great example, right? And so we went back to our customer service operations team and said, now we know what the problem area is. We went back to the logistics team, we went back to the marketing team, the product team. It was like a big village, right, which got created out of this problem statement. And that village had so many people, and at the center of this were the customers surrounded by technology. So the product team understood the code and said, why is the product not really getting delivered on time in some of these rural areas and pin codes? We realized multiple challenges right from the product which the customer was ordering to the factory or the distribution center where the product should be available to the last mile person who's actually delivering the product to the customer. There were broken pieces, and the customer service associate who was handling this query was not empowered. That person did not know that there are broken pieces. So the standard answer which the customer service associate would give to the customer is just wait for some time, and if it doesn't come, call us back. That's not really a great answer, neither it's a great experience for the customer. So once we started educating the customer support associate that these are the broken products, this is how you can explain more details to the customer, we immediately saw a decrease in the repeat customers calling for the same issue again and again. The customer understood the model that there are certain pin codes, there are certain product types, there are certain delivery centers which would take a little longer time. And more importantly, we updated those longer times on the website. So the customer is very well educated. Over a period of 6 months, while working on this entire solution, we saw a 50% decline in customers repeatedly calling us for the same issue, which meant in a way that customers were happy and had adjusted to that additional day which the teams were taking to make the delivery happen. More importantly, the customer service associates were very happy because they were able to give a clear and a precise answer. And we used this case study with different other models of delivery. The other thing which happened dramatically was the upstream processes from the product team got better. The delivery team got better because they understood that they have to have these products in the fulfillment center to make the delivery happen on time to customer as per the promise. And of course, the last mile person, the delivery associate who's delivering the product to the customer, was totally empowered with the overall process and the changes which were happening. That's the power of AI. That's the power of technology. That's the power of machine learning. That's the power of listening to a customer and then working with the technology available to make things easy.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like from automating customer support, right, to optimizing supply chain. AI is no longer just an experiment, it's like a proven case that it really drives business outcomes.
That is true. That's very true.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So we can move on to our next question. So today, I think a lot of small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, do feel overwhelmed, right? It's some of us don't know how to navigate and how to keep up with the pace at which it's moving. So what would you say with your experience? How do such businesses and entrepreneurs get over that hesitation in adopting AI in their everyday, day-to-day work and lives?
Yeah, great question, Carolyn, and a very pertinent and an important question. The first suggestion or the recommendation which I have for small and medium businesses is to look at their overall business model, right? Is it a brick and a mortar store which they are running? And if that's the case, for example, if they have a small shop of certain products which they're selling in a brick and mortar setup, what kind of customers are they handling? What are the preferences of these customers? There must be a reason why the customer is still walking into the brick and mortar store in spite of the same product being available on the website. And and all the small and medium business owners know the know the customers really really well back of their hand, understand the customer patterns on exactly what is the shopping which they're doing at the store, what kind of products are they looking for, what kinds of discounts are the small and medium businesses providing. Collect that data, go and create go and understand the tools of artificial intelligence which are available for you. Get some third party consultant at a pretty lower cost. So these days, Carolyn, you have third party consultants who provide you the AI support, the leverage on the technology at a very reduced price. So it's not very heavy for brick and mortar stores to pay that heavy price. So at a nominal price, they can get an expert to do the data crunching. And when the expert comes back, sorry, with the data crunching, it gives you a lot of insights as a small and medium business brick and mortar store, what you do with that data. And the next step then, right, is to use that data and then make your enhancements in the business model. How can the data help? Number one, if there are products which people really like in your store, can you get more and more of such products? If there are certain demographics of a customer from certain sections of the society who are coming and purchasing, that's a great advantage you have. If is age a factor in some of these customers making a shopping experience, that could be another data which the small and medium businesses could do. All I'm just trying to highlight is that uh, it is time also for small and medium businesses to embrace the technology, understand what this technology can enable them to take faster decisions, better decisions. So rather than taking traditional decision making process by just observing customer patterns, you involve AI, you involve data, you involve technology to read what these customer insights are, and based on those customer insights, you make your bigger plans. This is first part of the story. Now, second part of the story is, let's say you are a small and medium business and you are registered with big e-commerce customers. You're also selling with these big e-commerce customers on the website. Uh, again, right, go and challenge some of these e-commerce websites to say, if I am selling X number of products in a month or in a day for you, I have a contract with you where you are going to give me a percentage of the revenue which you're making through the products which you're selling. There's a lot of automation which can happen there as well, right? There's a lot of automation where the small and medium businesses can go online now. So they can continue to have the brick and mortar setup, but they can actually now go online, register with some of these e-commerce companies, and that's where again the AI really helps them by giving them a larger pool of customers who are doing online purchase and shopping. Uh, e-commerce industry as such right, operates on this entire business model where it's free trade, honestly speaking, for everybody. So if you are a small and medium business owner today, and you have dreams of really multiplying millions and millions of customers, online is one way where you should go ahead and do it. And it's not restricted, right, online only to the country where you are. You can actually display products to multiple other countries which you want to cater to. uh, And yeah, while they are negotiating their contracts, and while they're negotiating terms of payments and how the e-commerce company or the domain is going to help them, all they need to do is understand the business model of e-commerce company, how the tool, how the product selection happens. And if I am a seller, want to ensure that my product really comes on the top, I definitely need to understand AI. I definitely need to understand what customer demographics are going to shortlist or select my product when they're browsing on the internet.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all valid points. And I think the good news is, for small businesses, they should understand that AI adoption doesn't have to be all or nothing, right? Sometimes even small changes like automating emails or just
Yeah.
use AI-powered analytics, things like that. Small changes can go a big way in making an impact. So,
Yeah.
but there is so much AI jargon out there that I think these days it feels like you need to have a formal education or like even a PhD in order to get started, right? So,
Yeah, so it's not required, honestly, Carolyn, right? It's a myth, and I'm very happy to break that myth, right, on the call here, on this event with multiple participants who join, and multiple other participants who are going to listen to this podcast in future. I'll give you a classic example again of the brick and mortar store, right? Small business, people are coming into your shop. All you need to do is to go back and look at your customer base data, right? Do you have the email? If you have the email ID as an example of a customer which you're capturing in one of your systems, when the customer walks into the store, you can do a personalized email burst, right, to all the customers, and that can be done through AI. It would, I mean, you have so many free open sources today that the shop owner can just go to any of the AI open sources, type the what you can say, type the suggestion of how the email marketing, on how that email campaign should look like. The open AI source is going to give you at least 10 suggestions on how the email should go. All you need to make a decision as an owner is which template do you want to pick, how many edits do you want to do on that template, and then just go ahead and send that email, as and leverage that email as a marketing tool to create more awareness with your customer. Example, if you have a weekend sale coming in, and if you have a database of customers with their mobile numbers and email IDs, you can do so much with that particular information. And all this information more or less is registered with the small and medium businesses. So it's all about looking inward to say AI is going to be here. If I want to compete in the market, if I want to sell the maximum number of products, how do I make AI enable for that? And yeah, there are so many open sources of AI through which you can get all of this work done in pretty fast actually.
yeah.
Marketing campaigns can be created in a matter of hours today, Carolyn.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And a follow-up on the same line of thought, AI is definitely changing the way that all of us work, right? Just like you mentioned, from automation, but even up to decision making. So, what skills do you think that we as professionals can develop in order to be successful in today's AI-driven world?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, it starts with education. Uh, and I'll give you my example, my own personal example. So last year when I joined Google, I was really happy. I feel extremely blessed, privileged to be working in Google. One of the things I realized very fast, Carolyn, is if I need to do and achieve what I really want to achieve in Google, I need to get better in understanding what are the different AI models available, how do you use these AI models, and all of that. So I registered for a formal course with International School of Business. It's called ISB. It's a very highly ranked international school in India, and a lot of professionals actually sign up for such courses. So I signed up for a course called Generative AI. It was a 20 weeks course. What did I learn? I learned what are the basic tools of AI, definition of AI, how LLM, which is the large language models, what do they work, what is the difference between generative AI, for example, and machine learning. Uh, more than the difference, how's the industry using this, how's the fintech industry using it, the agri-tech industry using it, how's the e-commerce industry using it. And having an e-commerce background really helped, because most of what we do in e-commerce I knew, but I was not very sure on how the tech sector, right, uses AI. I got a lot of education in that. And the good part with that education is that you had to write those courses and exams almost every week, and that sort of tests your knowledge. My recommendation is not for everyone to go ahead and join for the International School of Business. It would be great if you can do it, but try and go for some kind of an education, right? Which you uh, try and go for some kind of a formal, informal education. There are so many online courses available for free. Register for that. Read through what exactly is AI, what are the large language models available. Make yourselves a little more comfortable with some of the technical jargon which gets thrown around. Necessarily, you don't have to remember any of the technical jargon. You don't have to be a expert to do a coding language. You don't have to be a technical expert or have an engineering background to understand any of that. That's another myth I want to clarify with people. People think that only engineering background people can understand it. Has got nothing to do with that. Any person with any kind of a formal education background can do it. Even people who've not had the opportunity or the privilege to go to schools and colleges can work on AI. So just go to the internet and just type free AI courses. You will get a list of courses. Download or register for any of the course, and then take that one step. Where first step, which is the most important step, is to educate yourselves, and then as you improve your education, you will actually see through this coming. How did the course help me, Carolyn? Right, in Google, it helped me tremendously. After I successfully completed the course with International School of Business, in my current work stream, what I have done is so it's a pretty complex set of processes which we follow out here. And I was able to automate, or I was able to work with different stakeholders to automate some of these processes. It gave me a deep understanding of how I can do quality management system. Rather than me going ahead and looking at every single escalation of a ticket which is coming, can I go and use my team, educate my team, use the AI technology, so I get a breakup as a summary of what's really happening on these escalation tickets, and then can I work with my team on the insights to deploy solutions which are going to help the customers. That's the mindset, right? So you have to have the mindset that, one, you get educated. Number two, after you're educated, and then education is a continuous process. I'm no expert on AI. It's a continuous process. Technology is evolving every single day, but are you curious enough to get yourselves educated? And once you have that education, are you then curious enough? Do you have the tenacity in you to go ahead and apply that particular education into real life practical examples at workplace?
Yeah, yeah. So it's really less about knowing how to code AI, but more about knowing how to, work alongside it, right? Like
That's right.
data, like critical thinking and creativity, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So today, as AI evolves, we're seeing a lot of shifts in jobs and responsibilities. How do you think AI is transforming the current workforce or the future workforce, and what can businesses do to be prepared for this?
Yeah. The first part, right, Carolyn, is transformation really happens at your door first.
Mhm.
So as I've been propagating, or rather recommending that people should get comfortable with AI, should start looking at what's really happening in the industry. The change is rapidly happening across different sectors today. I'll give you a classic example of how the hospitals are using AI. So when you go to a particular hospital, or look at the different medical records, right, of different people who get admitted to the hospitals are revolutionizing the way they are treating the patients. Today the technology is available to diagnose even difficult illnesses which perhaps was not possible, say, a couple of decades back. So when you go to a hospital, and this is happening across the world, there is so much of personalization and specialization which is happening with the hospital, because they know exactly that this particular treatment is going to work for a set of patients who are walking through. and this set of treatment is not going to be a treatment which will work for every or all the patients who are working in. So that's the specialization which the hospitals are really looking at. If you look at the stock market and the situation in the stock market, a lot of AI tools have come into the picture. So you go today as an investor, you have a portfolio and you want to really invest sensibly. AI gives you multiple options today to give you that sense check. The tool on which you are working has an AI background already. That tool actually will come up with recommendations on what are the stocks which you should purchase, what are the stocks which you should sell, which are the investments you should do, and which are the investments you should stay away from. Uh, that's a great insight. Earlier, over uh, these insights used to happen over newspapers, televisions. You had to watch series of shows, or you had to go pay for some consultant, and that consultant would give you the advice. Today, it's all available online, absolutely free for you to make the investments the way you want to make. So much of financial autonomy has come into the system, right? I mean, the moment somebody starts a career at a young age of say 20, 21, they can actually go to some of these tools and learn where to invest and how to invest. uh, for a different part of the society, right? Let's talk about how AI is making a difference in education. So gone are those days, right, Carolyn? It used to happen in my days back in the school that you were in a school, you were in a college, you had to sit through a particular session in person, and the person or the teacher and the in-person facilitator is trying to teach you. uh, those models are very very quickly moving away. Everything is online, and if you go, so there are multiple benefits of this. AI is again into education sector. So AI basically tells students which courses to register for. So if you go and check, if I need to do an engineering course, or if I need to do a course in commerce, you go to the internet gives you multiple options of registering for education. On the other side, the education institutes, all they need to do now is just to have the content available with them, and the content also AI can develop it with them. There are so many open AI tools available. You put a particular content and the content is available. So the content is available, by the way, free to the person who wants to get educated, as well as to the educational institutes who want to build and enhance their content. Um, Today, you go and put a shopping cart on any of the e-commerce websites. It gives you suggestions on the products which you can buy, looking at the purchase history. That's again AI for you. So AI is transforming the world. uh, I'm a firm believer it's not going to take away jobs, Carolyn. It's just the society has to be prepared that how can they leverage AI to make their jobs more meaningful. That's the essential question which people have to think through about all of this.
Yes.
But it's not like, I mean, the fear which people have that AI will replace everything, it's not going to happen. Look at the tech industry. Tech industry still, while lot of organizations are doing layoffs because of multiple reasons, but tech industry is still continuing to hire. You still have constant flow of fresh graduates getting into the tech industry, or any industry for that matter.
Yeah. And we've seen this happen before. Like, for example, when ATMs came out, I think people were worried that the bank tellers will no
Yeah.
longer that role existing. But instead, I feel that ATMs has only helped evolve and put more focus on customer service, right? So I think it's just a movement in the way we work. And just like internet has created jobs like we've never imagined, so AI is going to do the same, and we see more of such jobs coming up.
Yeah.
AI,
I'll just take one example, right? Carolyn, in the medical industry, right? So there is this technology available with an organization called Path AI. What it does is it gives you AI assisted diagnostics. All you need is a computer in front of you. Uh, if you are suffering from a particular disease, or any family member is suffering from a particular disease, you go onto that particular tool, and you type uh, and you submit your pathology images, right? You submit all the diagnostic tests which you've been through, so you don't have to repeat the process. You don't have to go again to a hospital, a brick and mortar hospital, to get all this done. That, of course, is the larger option available. And the Path AI uses the doctors which are available to them online, and these doctors are actually giving you advices based on the pathology report and all the diagnostic reports which you have submitted. Uh, so you are at your home and you're able to get a fair idea of how the treatment is going to look like. Again, it depends on you. You want to pursue the treatment or you want to go to the hospital and get registered. Of course, it's a personal choice which people will make, but you have those tools which are now available, which were not available earlier. Such a big change. Has the medical industry lost jobs because of AI? And honestly, no. Actually, it's adding more jobs. It's adding more jobs for a simple reason, because if you are a doctor and you've completed your university degree and all of that, for some reason you're not able to start a practice in a hospital. If you're a registered doctor, registered with the medical association, you can start a practice right at home by having these AI chatbots and AI technology at your leverage to provide guidance to the patients who are approaching you.
Mhm. Yeah. And many of my friends and relatives are doctors, so they were saying how it's really helped them because the note taking, I think, used to be a significant portion of their appointment time. So that's taken over
Yeah.
by AI. So they're actually able to spend more quality time trying to brainstorm with the patient on the care. So yeah, it's definitely helped every industry and not taken away jobs. So I think we'll head to maybe the last portion. Looking ahead, what do you think are some emerging AI trends that in today's world businesses should be paying attention to?
Yeah, some of the emerging trends, Carolyn. Again, I'll not get into the technical part of it, but just want to keep it a little more generic. So, if you go and again, right, search generative AI. What generative AI is, it's very interactive. For example, let's just say that you are a middle level manager in operations team and you want to create a standard operating process for quality management system. You want to start some audits on quality and you want a project charter. Now, earlier it would take you about hours, couple of hours to make the project charter, for you to work on the project charter and all. All you need to do now is go to a open AI source which is available and say, give me a project charter on quality management, and you will again have multiple templates coming to you. You pick up those templates, you improvise on those templates, and then go back to your leadership saying that this is the charter which I have created. How does this help you? It actually, it saves you tremendous amount of time, number one. Number two, that time which you save, you can focus on how you want to set up the quality management system rather than working on a SOP and creating the SOP from the start and working on the cosmetics of the SOP. You're now more engaged to make the project happen. You're more focused now to implement the project. You're more focused now to have deeper conversations on how the quality audits should happen rather than worry about the charter.
Yeah.
Great example. Earlier, professionals would take hours, perhaps days, weeks, right, to make the project charter. Today, you can get these project charters downloaded from any open AI source and make adjustments, make your own personalized project charter, and that's the value which AI is creating, which was not, say, available a couple of years back.
Right, absolutely. And AI is not about taking away control from all of us. It's more about giving us power to make better decisions and probably faster.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think now we'll move to the Q&A portion, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, or else we will ask questions that came through a chat. So one of the questions from our audience, let me see. What industries do you think AI will disrupt the most, and which industries will benefit the most from AI adoption? I think that's one of the most popular questions I have seen in most events.
Yeah, one of the I mean, there are three industries to me which AI will disrupt the market. The first one, of course, is the tech sector, right? All the huge big tech organizations are going through a huge AI revolution. All the big four tech companies are investing billions and billions of dollars into AI. Why is this investment happening? Because the tech industry believes that the investment is going to give a lot of revenue and uh, potentially adding a lot more millions of customers in future. That's why number one, tech industry will benefit. The other industry which for sure is going to benefit is the fintech sector, right? I'll take example of bad loans. So across the fintech sector, you have certain percentage of bad loans which happens because of defaulting customers. It could be defaulting companies who are not able to repay the loan back. Today, the mechanism of these fintech companies sector is much more tighter. The loan approval process is much more tighter. Depends again on the history of the person's credit history of the person and the credit history, of course, of the organizations, right? Who are taking those loans. So fintech sector is going through a revolution. Bad debts eventually will become less and less and less. The percentages are going to come down. You will have more and more money being lended to the right set of people who need that money. That's a huge game changer and positively impacts the entire industry. Second, about the fintech sector is your conversations now with the banks are much more easier. Gone are those days where you have to go to a bank. I mean, those days were gone. I mean, at least a decade back. But now, even more technology available on your mobile, where everybody is interacting with you on mobile and gives you a very clear answer. So that part, right? Convenience of banking has become such a big blessing. The third industry, Carolyn, we spoke about it briefly, is the medical industry, which is going through a big transformation. So more and more AI chatbots will come into diagnostics. More and more doctors will use these diagnostic reports to a, give you a solution, or rather, once you diagnose what really is the disease, and then sort of help the patients to overcome that. Fourth, to me, is the agriculture industry, agri-tech as it's called now. This industry will give farmers so much of more benefit on how the soil utilization rate is, the quality of the soil, what are the different pesticides which they need to use or don't need to use, how can they cultivate more in the same land without doing too much of investment, how can they replenish crops year after year. AI is doing a lot of headway into that. Yeah, so these are the industries I believe, in that order, like tech, fintech, medical, and agriculture, who AI will be touching upon. The other industry definitely is airlines. Airlines are doing an amazing job using AI, right? Just the entry point to the airport, getting into a plane, exiting from a plane, exiting from the airport has become very, very hassle free. At every single stage, AI is getting used. I mean, airline companies measure everything today from an AI perspective, except for the human interaction, which you see right at the airports, which will obviously continue to grow. I don't see any change in that in the next few years at all on that. But what's the footfall, right? The pricing, airline companies makes the pricing decisions for a seat based on number of customers who are passengers who are going to fly on that particular airline that particular day. So AI is there, present as well. It also AI also is elevating the airline industry by telling what's the preference of customers for a specific route, what are their likes and dislikes, what has been their past experiences, and again, airline companies are using all the data to make right investments.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Thank you for that. The next question from our audience. First, looking to pivot into an AI related career, what is the most critical areas to focus on in terms of skills and knowledge? I think today everybody's thinking, how can they get that AI
Yeah,
job?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So couple of things. The first thing is There are two parts of the answer. The first part is there are technical roles available in the AI sector. So when I say technical roles available in the AI sector, if you want to do coding, that's one area which is always open for you. The second area is a machine learning engineer. What really machine learning engineer does is that the person has to be familiar with machine learning concepts, should have a little more deeper understanding of how these concepts are relative to the industry of the company where the person wants to go and join. Another role is a AI researcher, a person who is always researching within the AI. Now, to become an AI researcher, again, you have to have your basics covered. You got to be a subject matter, I mean, yeah, you definitely have to be a medium level person within the AI research boundary where you know how to use AI to do more research. And again, there are some courses where you can register and sort of go into this. Part of the role of technical AI is a data scientist. They get extremely well paid. There are courses again available online. Some are free courses, some are paid courses on how you can become an data analyst. The role essentially is about extracting large data sets and giving specific insights to the set of users. Then there is of course AI software engineer, which does coding on different kind of software applications and all of that. So these are all your technical roles. This is just very simple layout of the roles which I have described. There are much more roles in the technical structure, in the technical part of AI. Now the non-technical part of AI, right? You can become a AI product manager. So what I mean by AI product manager is, let's say, uh, you are in a company and you've created a product which will be launched into the market. Now what is that particular product? Let's say it's a chatbot. Now you may not really know exactly how that chatbot works or operates from an algorithm perspective, but you know for a fact that this particular chatbot is going to help e-commerce industry or a banking industry to reduce the number of customer interactions which are happening frequently. So if you are a AI product manager on a chatbot, all you need to do is know the industry where you're deploying the solution. All you need to know is what is the vision of that particular vertical where you're implementing this solution and how that solution of yours is going to help the end customer. Again, it does not really require a lot of technical expertise. Basic knowledge of how the bot works is good enough. Then there is something called AI ethics officer. Essentially, if you are a person who's deeply interested in the legal frameworks and the compliance and solutions frameworks, this would be a great opportunity for you. With your experience in compliance and regulations, you can actually now start registering as an AI ethics officer. All you need to do is create a framework of AI, where it has to be used, where it cannot be used, and you have that SOP with you. The other role, non-technical role available is the AI project manager. So let's say you're deploying a particular solution, uh, but you need a project manager to deploy the AI solution. All you need to do again is which industry are you deploying that AI solution? How is the end user going to get benefited? And then you project manage that entire deployment of AI technology. So these are some of the things I would like to say. For technical roles, of course, you need programming like a Python, or you need to be a little more better on mathematics and statistics. You also need to have a little more deeper understanding of data analysis and visualization. But for all the other non-tech roles, problem solving, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration, those are the skill sets which you need to apply.
Yeah, perfect. So I would like to add, like how businesses that embrace AI in today's world won't just survive, but they'll thrive in the new digital economy. And we're not talking about replacing humans with AI, but we're talking about augmenting human potential with AI. So with that, I know we've come to the top of the hour. So Abhishek, any last nugget for or a takeaway for our audience?
Uh, Firstly, thanks, Carolyn, to you, to Philip, and the entire Trilyon team for inviting me here to have such a deep conversation about AI. I also learned a lot by understanding the different questions which you have and audience has. So it's been a learning experience for me. My suggestion to the audience and all the participants is AI is here to stay. Embrace the change, be happy about the change, and try to see how AI you can add value to AI and how AI can add value to you at your workplace and personal space. Start getting familiarized with some of the terms and tools of AI. It's only going to make your life much more easier in the current context of things.
Yes, thank you so much for spending the whole hour. I need to let our audience know that it's 3 a.m. in Tokyo, and Abhishek is actually traveling on business, but he was kind enough to still make it to today's podcast. So thank you, Abhishek, and thank you for sharing all the knowledge that you have gathered over the years. And to our audience, thank you all for joining today for this special live talk session with Abhishek from Google. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing this time with you, and we hope the discussion provided some valuable insights to help each of you grow in your business and maybe explore the next AI career for you. So your feedback actually is very important to the USPAACC team and to us. So please continue to provide that, and we'll hopefully bring you valuable content. Please do take a moment also to share and complete our brief survey. I think the link has been provided in the chat. Thank you to the whole USPAACC team, Philip, Danny, Susan Allen, Mark Allen, and everybody else behind the scenes for making the live talk happen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Carolyn. Thank you. Bye.